4, 3.
We'll do it live!
Now we're live! Aaron Kennedy. The general craziness of it, the impact on your life.
We have gone through so many stories and we said, you know what? This should not be kept to the two of us. Welcome home, Megan Galeros.
Thank you. I had such a good time. I'm still a little jet lagged. I still don't really know which meal I should be eating when, but it was a great trip.
You just came back from France.
I did, yes. Leo, my little guy, for any of you who remember, he actually got selected for a special clinic out of a camp he did in the US, and they picked a couple kids per camp, and then he got an opportunity to go to Paris and train with Paris Saint-Germain coaches and stuff.
Yeah.
It was such a great experience. He was just the happiest kid, loved it. But think about, not only getting to train in another country with like the ideal kind of European whole experience, but just also to be there and to have coaches that are not from this country and, just enjoy the whole thing. We got a chance to go see a PSG game too, and that was wild. I have never.
Is that your mom?
That's my mom behind you. She came.
I didn't know she came too.
She did. Yeah, it was me, my mom, and Leo. And then the girls and Lance stayed home because obviously they had school and stuff. But we had so much fun. And we did get to go to a PSG game, like I said. But those fans they sang nonstop the entire game. Yeah, so I mean, you could hear it.
That's
I don't know if he
great.
knew
So
what he was sitting there.
to be honest, my biggest question for you with that, Megan, was, are they speaking French when he's learning soccer?
They're not. Okay, so the guy, but very broken English. So these were American kids because they were the kids who got selected from the US to come to train with the French coaches. So they had French coaches who could speak English, but the English was fairly limited. Like, I think it was, you've heard of like restaurant English. You can order some food and they tell you where the bathroom is and stuff like that. This was like soccer English. And Leo can't pronounce his coach's name and doesn't know what it was. Something with a G, and I don't know. I was like, okay.
French is tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. But I mean, what a good thing for him to see how other people do what he loves in another country. And, if you look at it, probably they're doing it better. European soccer's usually, or football, I guess. Yeah, it's life there. And you can't even find any other sport on TV. The Rugby World Cup was there also, though. So that was kind of all over everywhere. But I don't think they're as into it because I kept seeing like cupcakes or, pastries made like for rugby. But it was a football, not a rugby ball, with even like the laces and stuff. And I saw a rugby ball later and it doesn't have the laces. So I think they just knew it wasn't a soccer ball and it was oblong. And that was
interesting that they would even know what a football is there, though, because that's a very American sport.
Right. It was pretty funny. But Notre Dame, your alma mater, they were playing a basketball game in Paris yesterday. So they've been there like the whole week. So I think there's this promotion of Americans going to France for sports and French sports coming here. And I think it's kind of cool. I like it. I like the global approach. But speaking of news, from our old world, I did get a little nervous / disquieted with everything that's going on in the world right now, going over there, just because there's tension everywhere. And you just don't know what that's going to look like, especially when you're outside of the country. And so they had asked us to sign up for the State Department where you get alerts and things like that. If the terror
I bet your phone was going off all the time.
Well, it was. And what was happening when we were there, and I'm sure it's made news here, is that it was primarily concerns for Jewish people in the all of Europe, basically, but especially in France and Paris. There were all kinds of incidents that were happening there. So it's just like, wow, it's kind of crazy to think about what's going on. And you just don't know the ramifications rippling through,
Still, great exposure for Leo. That's awesome.
Great.
Did you bring back any bed bugs?
Not that I'm aware of. And I don't think I got bit by anything either. But I did have a moment on the metro where I was like, thought of you actually. And I was like, wonder if I'm getting bit right now. I don't feel it, so I guess I'm okay. I did get pickpocketed though, which is
Did
so
you really?
French experience.
Oh
Either that
my
or my
God.
credit card fell out of my pocket. I don't know which one it was. But by the time, and we were over by the Eiffel Tower, and by the time like I realized it, probably only 15 minutes had gone by, and I called to cancel my card, and whoever this was, who either picked it up or took it out of my pocket or whatever, they had already charged like 6 things to my card in like
Wow.
a 15-minute period. Yeah.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least it was just a credit card though.
Yes, just a credit card, not the rest of it, or I'd still be there, my passport somewhere,
Yeah.
someone's
Oh.
hands. Yeah.
So do we want to talk about how your shot is way too tight and you're kind of out of frame here?
The reason for it is because I'm trying to figure. I have a ponytail in today, and I'm trying to determine if my forehead looks smaller when I do this or this. I think this might be better, but I was hoping like I don't know. I kind of have a big forehead. I've always. It's not like I'm losing hair. It's just what it is. But when I wear a ponytail, I'm like very like forehead centric.
Because normally you kind of have a little bit of a bang swoop.
Yeah, put like a little something, or at least there's like hair going on, so you can't see it. Clearly, also need my roots done because it looks real dark. Do I look like I'm a brunette? So I turn to the side, and then you can see the.
Then you oh yeah, she's blonde. Now
All right, it's just back about 4 inches. So what's been going on with you? You have sick babies?
Yeah, we just have the crud going around, and I think
Yep.
that it's that time of year. Elliot nearly tried to emancipate himself when I told him he couldn't do trick or treating except for like 5 houses.
He
I
just didn't
know.
feel well enough, or what was going on?
He was terribly sick, and he wasn't even on medication by then.
Yeah.
We had his appointment was the next morning with the doctor, but he was just dying. And Halloween here was miserable. It was cold and snowy and wet. So we thankfully Matt actually went around to several houses and got him candy.
Matt's got his pillowcase out. Trick or treat.
Yeah, I don't know what he said. I didn't ask.
My son is sick. That's a good excuse, Matt, who just really wanted some candy.
Hey, that's what I'll do next year then.
It's
But
not
yeah,
a bad
no,
idea.
otherwise, yeah, everybody's just kind of fighting it. I'm fighting it right now too, and
Yeah.
just trying to get back in the swing of things. I always feel like this time of year gets very busy.
It's very busy, and I also feel like I do put a lot of credence on when we change time. I don't do as well. I mean, I'm fine. I'm generally a happy, positive person. That does not change, but I have more kind of negative vibes. I feel
the Senate
that
passed getting rid of daylight savings time,
I feel
but
like
then
it
because the
passed,
house is so dysfunctional,
yes,
it's never gonna.
it passed somewhere and not somewhere else. Yeah, it passed either the House or the Senate, and then something happened. But I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not out farming. My children are not farming, right? I just want to have sunshine for a little bit longer, and I really struggled during the coldest, darkest months of the year when we were working on the morning shift because
You never saw
we
the
didn't
sun.
we didn't see the sun, right? Like we didn't see the sun rise, and then we would leave at call it 11:30, go home, take a nap, wake up, and it's already dark. So we didn't see the sun at all. I feel like, and that was really difficult.
Yeah,
It just feel crappy that way. So
even
anyway.
actually, when I was just a dayside reporter in Rhode Island, I remember this. I would have to leave before the sun came up, and I was home, and it was dark, and it was cold, and it was just really sad. It made me sad.
It is, and I even tried for a while. Have you heard of those lights that are like like therapy lights? I don't know exactly what type of light it is, something, but I bought one when we were working on the shift, and I would bring it into where we got ready and just like turn it on. I don't think it did a damn thing because I'm guessing I was just exhausted and it was made that much worse. But if you think about it, we have 15, I know this for a fact, we have 15 hours and 17 minutes of daylight at the summer solstice. We're down to like 9 hours and 7 minutes or something by the time we hit December 21st. So the winter solstice, that we lose a lot, like 6 hours.
Lost.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It is made even harder for shift workers, I think, just because you just don't see it at all. Yeah.
All right. The only other thing I wanted to show you was, so this is my Instagram bio.
Oh my God. I was just thinking how sassy you look, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So this is what I really like it. Wait.
And it's a bodysuit. Well, then this is my sweatpants.
Oh, okay. But do you have to figure out what do you wear with it? Pants normally? You don't really need a pants because you don't stand up?
Correct. At home, if I were wearing it out into the real world, I would need pants.
I would need some pants. I'm gonna need you to send me that link again, though, legit, because I
Yeah.
want to buy that. Can you
Yeah.
post it? Can you post the link?
Sure.
Maybe they will give us a kickback.
That would be great. Yeah, because I got the sleeveless version of it too, and I really like it.
It's really cute, and I don't think the shoulder pads are too big either, Erin.
Yeah, that was my only concern, that it felt a little bit too
No.
80s, but Marissa said they're back in style now, so that's great.
Well, if Marissa said, then it must be true.
I wouldn't know.
I also wouldn't know, and that is another thing. When we were walking around France, I felt so inspired to actually look good.
Right. Yeah, they put it on there.
However, when I
It's
got
like
back,
Italy, man. You've been to Italy, right?
yeah, they look so good.
They look gorgeous. And like just walking around in like 4-inch heels every day.
I can't figure it
And those
out though.
cobblestones.
Erin, how? Like I try to wrap my head around it because I think to myself, I'm wasting some of my best good years I got left, you know what I'm saying, in sweatpants, looking like a schlub. Why am I doing that? I don't have an answer for it. And then I walk around and I see like these like people looking so good.
Right.
And I even thought, you know what, I have some time while Leo's doing his soccer. Mom and I went shopping and I'm like, put on a pair of pants, they look good, but I was like, really, Megan? Like, where in reality, where are you gonna wear these?
Well, grocery shopping then. Step it up.
See, I could, but I mean, would I feel good about that? Maybe. Maybe that's what we should do one week, Erin. We should like commit to wearing fabulous clothes for the whole week and say if we're miserable or feel so good.
That's okay. I'm down with that. Yeah, inside and outside the house too, you mean, right?
Yeah, like instead of, whatever, like these sweatpants I also have on.
Did you see how worn through my knees are?
My butt is like saggy in these pants. It's like I need a new pair. I even need a new pair of sweatpants. Like if you look at Americans as a whole, we do not do, I mean, we can have good fashion, of course, but like we are very jogger-tastic.
So we are Midwest though.
That's true.
And I do feel it's different on some cities on the East Coast and the West Coast.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, when I think about what I saw this past week, they didn't have anything crazy on. It's just that they were wearing jeans and like a simple shirt. But the jeans were like perfectly fitted to the individual. And also like the newest style, which just gives it, and they had the right shoes on. They're thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, should we tell people what we used to do with our shoes? When we're like, I just kept a crap ton of shoes underneath my desk and threw one on and then put my Uggs on back and forth because I wasn't thinking that much about it.
Yeah. No, and I mean, that was when our shoes were on camera too, but I would spend money elsewhere. Yeah. And our shoes were always at least 10 years old.
Do you remember when we had to go to some event? I don't remember what it was. And we had to wear our shoes in public. Do you remember that?
All the time.
We were literally, like, I remember looking and you're like, oh my God, look at my shoe. And it was like peeling. And I looked down and my shoe was like peeling.
Isn't that when I took like the black Sharpie to it to fill in all the classy ladies?
Whatever. I mean, you couldn't see it. And so, right, like when you had to spend so much money on things that you were wearing on the air, I feel like what's the most bang for my buck? Like, ain't nobody going to know what's going on my shoes, chances are. So you spend money on the top.
Yeah.
Now I just spend money on shirts because no one sees my pants.
Okay, but yeah, let's pick a week. We will document it.
I mean, we're going to have to fully document this.
It's going to have to not be in winter.
Okay. When are we doing this? Maybe spring.
Okay.
And we're going to need to see if we can get other people to follow along and like post. We'll create a hashtag. We'll see how many people can dress like they're
fancy
fabulous.
for a week. Hashtag fancy for a week.
Fancy for a week. Yeah. Does this mean we have to do hair and makeup every day too? Because no, just clothes. Let's not go crazy.
I think those Europeans would disagree. I think makeup and hair were also on point. No?
Their hair looked like doo-doo on a stick. Doo-doo on a cracker. The hair, it was no better than this mop-a-doo I got in my head. No better. I think because they're in and on and off of the metro and they're on and off of whatever and it's windy and they're walking around. I don't think they care about the hair. Makeup, maybe it's on. By the way, I got a new eyeliner. Love it. Victoria Beckham. It's good.
What isn't she making these days?
Thank you. This is her, and I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. I'll say it like she said it, but this is maybe with her British accent. I don't know. Her satin K-gel liner. Okay, great. I'm like, her eyes look beautiful. I think I need that because, I'm a product whore. So I bought it. But hell if it isn't the best eyeliner I've had in forever.
So is it a pencil?
It is a pencil. It goes on brilliantly. It does not really come off. And it has a tip on the other end where you can smudge. And it's not like the ones where you try to smudge it and you actually feel like you're gouging a hole in your eyelid. It like beautifully blends. She's got like 8 different colors of it.
And I bet it was bonkers expensive.
30 something, I think. Is that bonkers expensive?
I mean, I think that's what I pay for my gel pots, but those last for a really long time.
I feel like this will as well. Now, I digress because I don't know how far the pencil goes into the stick, right? Is it just a stop here? I don't know. I haven't discovered that yet. But they do have a nice little pencil sharpener. And like we said, everything the woman touches is gold. She sent it. I'm sure she packaged it herself.
Dear Megan.
It was sent.
Love posh.
With a little card with like a fake signature on it. Beautifully packaged in a gorgeous box with it was like, this is so nice. I just bought an eyeliner, dude. I could have done that from Walgreens. No, comes in a perfect, I felt like so fancy and special.
That's great. My better self, my richer self always loved her dresses. And so, I'd always go on eBay and just buy the knockoffs.
I remember.
Yeah. And some of them were really great knockoffs.
I mean, she scored David Beckham many years ago, okay? If you can do that, I feel like you can do anything.
It's true.
Because not only did she get David Beckham, I think there was a little cheating incident there when he was in Madrid or somewhere, because I just watched the documentary. If you haven't watched it, it's great. It's on Netflix. There's 5 of them, I think. But I think there was a little cheaty going on there for a brief moment in time. But then right back together they got, and right back together they stay. Mad props to Posh and her eyeliner, Erin.
That's a good full circle story. I like it.
You like that?
I do.
Oh my God.
Are there any other pictures on your Facebook that you wanted me to show?
No, if you would like to, you can show the dog attacking me and Marissa laughing hysterically, and then we can part on that note.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to close out of that and go into.
I know, Megan.
You're a little
on Facebook. Yeah,
you are on
but
Facebook.
I'm familiar with
that one. So bad.
Megan.
Coming over.
He's a ham. Go ahead, lick her face.
That is such a great laugh, Melissa.
Truth be told, Erin, the dog segment was either such a great way to end the week or my personal hell. Never anything in between.
You know how I felt about it.
Yeah, you didn't like it. Do you remember? Now there were a couple dogs, and I put the kibosh on no cats because I'm allergic to cats. My face would have been swollen up like crazy, whatever. I'm like, I ain't touching that. But the vast majority of the dogs they brought were cute. There was the day they brought the giant pit bull and wanted me to sit it right. I was like, I'm having images of this thing like biting my face off. And
Which happened to an anchor in Denver. Do you remember that?
Yes. And that's when all of a sudden they made the pause handler hold the dog instead of me.
That was another CBS. Wasn't it? No, it was Denver. Kyle Dyer in Denver.
Yeah.
It was CBS. Or was it 9? I'm sorry. I think it was KUSA.
I think that sounds right.
But it was a dog that was rescued from it had been outdoors or something, and she got close to it and bit her, and she needed plastic surgery, and it happened on live TV too.
And in my mind, I'm picturing, I'm worst case scenario, everything. And then look, we have to go because we have our next interview, which you'll be posted later or before. I don't know how this is airing, which we're doing our order. But anyway, Erin, I was thinking this thing is going to bite off my literal face. But Noreen said, it's the sweetest dog, Megan. And she was right. It was a very sweet dog. And she was laughing at me. And I remember, and I rightfully so, because I was like, but it freaked me out. It did freak me out.
They're always sweet until they're not.
They're sweet until you have half a face left.
I always thought most of the time those dogs were pretty ugly. They had underbites and they had wiry fur. And
if you can't tell, my friends at home, Erin is not a giant.
so I grew up with dogs. I love dogs. But what bothers me about the pet of the week, I agree. Every pet deserves a loving home. That's not it. But what bothers me is how viewers jump to saving animals before they ever jump to saving humans.
And it's true. Like they're way more likely to do that.
They would never do like a Wednesday's Child, children who need adoptions, because those are not nearly as successful as pets who need homes. Everybody needs a loving home. I just think we should prioritize humans.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that. But in this case, the pit bull went first and almost saved my face.
It didn't though. But in your mind, it did.
In my mind, Erin.
All right, we gotta go.
My face is gone. Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye, Megan.
Okay, bye.